Well, when it comes to suicide, I haven't really gone down the track of wanting to commit suicide or anything like that. But I've had hopeless feelings where I can see why people would commit suicide, but I haven't really gone down that track fully myself. I think what's really helped me is that I had the foundation with my family. My mother loved me unconditionally, my father loved me. To have that home base built my character, my strength. Without that, I don't know, I probably would have killed myself. Yeah. So just to have the family support has really helped me, and a lot of people don't have that family support, so they run off and they do all sorts of things, and one of the worst things is kill themselves. I have to put it down to my family, especially, just that support, that love, that unconditional love and acceptance. When I came out as a gay boy, that acceptance that we love you, we still love you. And when I've come out as transgender, to still have them support me. Not understand it fully, but willing to come along the journey with me and not turn their back on me. That has really kept me grounded and sane, and probably still here in the world, because if I didn't have that family support, I'd be gone. I would probably be gone, because it is hard. I still struggle, even though my family love me, I still struggle. So
that's a very vital thing about having a family. I didn't have that at all, and so I found it was through a wider friendship. It might have been my transgender friends and colleagues and stuff, that I worked with. When you're a social outcast, you obviously gravitate to those of us who are all to find strength and solace and understanding there. And so I didn't get that from my family, quite the contrary. And I have to say that as far as my family was concerned, I just laid it on the line at a particular event at my mother's funeral, actually. When I turned, because I reconciled with her before she died, and that was a huge relief to me, because she was disapproving, of course, to begin with. She was the only adult in my family whom I respected in any way, but in particular. And so once I reconciled with her, it was easy to deal with the rest of the family, and I confronted them all at my mother's funeral. And after the service and things like that, I had respected her wishes and went to her funeral as her son, and I was 18, 19 at the time, 1978, and I was working in the sex industry, and I had transitioned by that time, and all of that. And when the family came back to the house for the wake afterwards, I had changed into Georgina, and there she was, and they all went, "Ooh, and horrible, and how could I, and how disrespectful." And I said, "Stop right there." I said, "You all know that this is what who I am," and things like that. And I'm telling you right now, it's no longer my problem, it's yours, deal with it. And left. And they were sort of, shocked, and I thought, well, yeah, no, deal with it. And probably to this day, not many of them have dealt with it very well. Do you know, in all the successes I've ever had, any election I've ever won, all of that sort of thing, not one phone call of congratulations, not one acknowledgement from anybody, in the family, and things like that. And I thought, well, that's fine, okay, if that's the way you want to go on about this, and the attitude still is. My stepfather, Colin Byer, died earlier this year. I still haven't been informed by anyone in the family. I read it in the paper. So who's got the problem here? It sure as hell ain't me. And even my mother would have softened after a while, particularly as I became successful. She would love to have trotted off to Government House with me, or travelled over overseas conferences or whatever the hell, and all of that sort of thing. So they've really got to look at themselves. the relationship I had with my half-brother was destroyed by Christianity, because he joined at quite a young age, 1920, the Rock Church. We'd had a good relationship, relatively, before then, even after my mother had passed away. But as soon as God came into the picture, no. So, I was just a no-no and a sinner of the greatest degree and all of that sort of thing. Well, I'm used to those kinds of attitudes. I did take on Brian Tamaki in the Destiny Church during the Civil Union, debates and all of that sort of thing, and take them on because, the irony is, in my mayoral positions, even in the MP position, but particularly in the mayoral position, I've had to stand in pulpits in churches and address congregations and things for, special events and special occasions and all of that sort of thing, including the Baptist Church in Carlton, when one of their big American colleagues were over and as the mayor. Right. So I find myself, or have found myself, in odd situations where I sort of feel a bit, I've been blessed by a pope, for God's sake, and that pope's now become a saint. At the Vatican, I've met, Jean Paul II and things like that. I never thought I'd be in, met the Queen 3 times or 4 times,
Well done.
What do you do? And this is where the wonderful opportunities I've had in life, as far as the transgender community is concerned, I have been felt really proud to be able to conduct myself in the company of these highly esteemed people in those positions, and that the sky didn't fall down. Queen didn't turn into a screaming sort of, thing. The Pope didn't become the devil, and all of that sort of thing. But to know that, another example of those wonderful situations opportunities that I had, I visited Spain to, I was attending a conference there. This is when I was in Parliament, and also there was a film festival which was showing the Georgie Girl documentary about me, and actually won that one. And the transgender community's representatives in Spain managed to find me and get their way to me, and especially at the film, when the film was screening, and they all came rushing up to say hello to me and that sort of thing. And they said to me, it's so difficult for us to be in contact with our members of parliament and things like that in Spain. And, could I advise them or give them any tips on how they might be able to get cut through in a lobbying sense to them. And I said, well, actually, I'm going to your parliament tomorrow. I'm meeting with about 10 of your MPs. Why don't you come with me? And I went, and I said, well, not all of you. I said, bring 3 or 4 of you and come with me like a little entourage. And we turned up at the town, and I was welcomed and greeted, and they were there with me, and they got to come through with me and all of that. And then we went in to have the meeting I was having with them, and they were allowed to bring 2 representatives to come and sit in with me. I sat down at the table, we go through the welcomes and everything like that, and then I said, may I forfeit 5 minutes of my time with you to these ladies here? And they went, well, yes. And that opened the door for them. They made contact, exchanged cards, gave a tentative, thing of, we'll meet with you, in a wee while. But yes, that's all possible. We left the meeting after I sort of did my business, and we left the meeting, and each and every one of those transgender girls broke down. They said, you just did what we have tried for years to do, just like that. And that's what I mean. You've got to put your hand out and bring them through with you, rather than shut the door on them. I could have done that. I could have gone and had my meeting. I could have said, oh yes, I will do it sometime, girlfriend, and all of that. But no. And it's little gestures like that. It was nothing for me to do that. To them, it was everything. And they could establish a contact, a dialogue with their politicians, which they needed to do. And so...
Something that was coming up for me when Georgina was talking about whose problem is it, mine or yours, it's yours. It just made me think about bullying. Like, I feel like I'm stating the obvious, but, if someone has a problem, if someone is disrespectful to people like ourselves or gay people, it's a sign of who they are and where they're at. It is their problem. So, I mean, I just wanted to say that, all the bullies that are out there, it's showing where they're at. It's showing their uneducated, their disrespectful way. It's showing them. It's nothing to do with us. As you can see, we're quite happy. We're quite comfortable. And so are many gay people, many trans people. We're quite comfortable. We are on our journey. We're doing what we have to do to make our hearts happy. It's a sign of the bully. So if you want to go around looking like a fool, then that's what you're risking doing when you're being a bully. I just felt like saying it just as we spoke about whose problem it was.
Sure.
Yeah.
We want to be positive participants in society, and we want to contribute, just like everybody else. Don't make us burdens on society. It's not good for you, and it sure as hell ain't good for us. So embrace us and enjoy us, and we will give you everything so that we all get on in a better world. And that's what it's got to be about. There is no point in making us burdens on society. We're too costly. And it's not necessary. And we've got a perspective and a uniqueness and actually a passion to just want to get on with our lives with no harm to anyone else, and we don't expect to be harmed in return. Simple.